So the question here is, what has distracted mankind? They know that the hour is close, their accountability is close. What has distracted them? In Surah Al-Takathur, Allah Azza wa Jal highlights and mentions what has distracted mankind. In the very first ayah, He said, Alhaakum Al-Takathur. The want for more and more has distracted you from everything related to Allah Azza wa Jal in preparation for the afterlife. At-Takathur. And so the disease of the day and age is ghafla, heedlessness. And this heedlessness is increasing in the heart because the people want more and more, and they are competing with one another concerning this, concerning more of ad-dunya. Don't get me wrong. I am not standing here to condemn ad-dunya and tell you shut down your business, don't work, and go and focus on your prayers and your Quran. And this is not my message. Because even though Allah Azza wa Jalla said in Surah Al-Mulk, فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ. Allah said, walk on the edges and the paths of this world and consume, earn from His provision. No problems, that's fine. But when you begin to compete with one another and your focus is on getting more and more of this dunya, and it distracts you from your worship and your obligations and responsibilities towards Allah, then such a dunya and the want for more of it is condemned. That is what is condemned. That's what Allah Azza wa Jal said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, la tulhikum amwalukum wala awladukum an dhikrillah. Allah said, do not allow this dunya, its wealth, and your children, which is a desire of this life, don't allow your worldly matters distract you from the remembrance of Allah. So if taking more of a dunya does not distract you from your obligations, take as much as you want, no problems. We're speaking about those who have competed with one another and left out Allah's obligations, and as though the hour is not coming. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. And pay attention to people and their competition. Today, this is the disease of the day and age. People are competing with one another who can earn more and more in every aspect of life. Look at the companies and how they compete with one another in terms of products and who can offer better quality, better service. And at the end, companies are sharing and comparing their profit margins. You also see on social media, there is massive competition. Who can have the more followers, the more views, the more likes, the more shares, the more comments? Who can have the more influence on people? Even in the dirty, filthy world, there is competition. Among the people that practice az-zina, now it is very public for women to come out and question one another. How many men have you slept with? And women competing with one another. How many men can I sleep with in 24 hours? And even that, they call it the body count. How many have you slept with? How many has she slept with? Competition, even in matters of filth. Competition on the street, who can sell the more drugs? Who can own that business and dominate it? Competition among people when it comes to weddings. Who can have the greater and better reception? And who can bring the more luxurious rides to his wedding? And who can wear the best of outfits to the wedding? And who can offer the more luxurious food for his guests? But to honor them, not to honor them, the deep intention, if you search down, it is to compete with so-and-so from his relatives and his friends that had a wedding reception 2-3 months ago. And this is killing mankind. And this type of competition is unhealthy. Why? Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us about its danger. He said, لَا الْفَقْرَ أَخْشَى عَلَيْكُمْ. I do not fear that all of you will become poor. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not fear poverty. So why are people competing with one another? You will take from this worldly life what Allah has decreed for you, and you will live until the day Allah has determined for your soul to come out. So then he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, I fear that this worldly life opens up and its opportunities open up. And then you will compete with one another concerning every aspect of life. And what would be your result? Your iman will increase? No. He said, فَتُهْلِكَكُمْ كَمَا أَهْلَكَتْهُمْ. It will destroy you. It will ruin you in the same way it destroyed and ruined those before you who also competed for it. Competition among one another is unhealthy. It leads to envy. It leads to jealousy. It leads to pain in the heart. People are killing one another over competition for this worldly life. When you hear of murders and killing and shooting in this underworld, it's all about competition. All about competition, right? Everything is about competition. Competing with one another, sooner or later a person becomes ungrateful to ni'matullah, to the favor of Allah upon him, because his eyes is glued on what others have in their hands and in their pocket. He becomes uncontent, discontent. How come he's younger than me and has more than me? How come he works less hours, he has more money than me, I work day and night, I have nothing? When you compete with one another, you don't become grateful to what Allah Azza wa Jalla has given you. Poisonous competing with one another.